Futurama never played war straight. Instead of noble battles, the crew gave us blunders, invasions, and generals too dumb to lead. Welcome to Futurama's greatest military episodes. Let's begin with a story where Fry and Bender join the Earth Army for gum and end up fighting a pointless war. War is the H word. Season 2, Episode 17. The story begins with Fry and Bender doing the most patriotic thing they can imagine, joining the Earth Army just to get a 5% discount on ham-flavored chewing gum. Their plan is simple: sign up, buy the gum, and quit. But the moment they enlist, Earth declares war on the planet Spheron 1. What started as a joke turns into real military duty. Leela worries about her friend's safety and tries to enlist too. But Zap Brannigan only accepts men in his army.
I want to enlist. My friends always die if I'm not there to save them.
Sorry, but the Army's instituted a men-only policy.
His excuse is that women are not fit for service, though really it's just an excuse to flirt. Leela refuses to give up, so she disguises herself as a male soldier named Lee Lemon and sneaks onto the Nimbus.
What's your name, Private?
Lee Lemon, sir.
The soldiers are shipped off to Spheron 1. On the way, Zap gives a grand speech about having the spirit to die for your planet. He then presents the mission logistics, with President Richard Nixon's head introducing Spheron 1. The team begins preparing for battle and goes through training drills. During training, Zap notices the disguised Leela and is impressed by his skills. As expected, Zap starts flirting, completely unaware.
You're my kind of soldier, Lemon. Beer-bellied pile of ugly muscle.
Then the alarm rings. Nixon announces that they are now above Spheron 1. Zap, eager to show off, declares that the key to victory is surprise. To prove it, he presses a button that opens the ship's floor and literally drops the soldiers straight down onto the battlefield. On the ground, they discover the enemy, a race of talking bouncing balls. The soldiers struggle badly as the huge, heavy spheres crush over them in overwhelming numbers. In the chaos, the balls throw a bomb. In a rare moment of bravery, Bender opens his chest and dives on it, saving the others but leaving himself critically injured. The injured soldiers are rescued and treated by Zoidberg. Fry, on the other hand, shows cowardice during the fight and is punished by being assigned as Kif's assistant, a humiliating fate in Zap's army. Bender is celebrated as a hero and taken to a field hospital. Nixon even jokes that he wants Bender fixed the way Kennedy fixed the 1960 election.
I want this robot fixed. Fixed like Kennedy fixed the 1960 election.
Later, Bender appears recovering in a sort of wheelchair. Nixon then tells him that,
So I'm sending you on one last mission. A mission of peace.
Ow!
Bender must negotiate with the mysterious leaders, the Brain Balls, alongside Henry Kissinger's head. But the truth is darker. This is not a peace mission at all. While Bender recovers, Nixon secretly has a bomb implanted inside him. The bomb is set to detonate if Bender ever says his favorite word, ass.
The word which, if uttered, will blow up this entire planet? Ass.
The real plan is to use him as a walking nuclear weapon to wipe out Spheron 1, then escape before the bomb goes off. Leela overhears this plan and realizes she has to act. She and Fry steal a helicopter, knock out Zap, and race to the peace talks. Meanwhile, Leela also reveals that Lee Lemon has been her all along. At the negotiating table, Bender nearly sets off the bomb by accident.
Bite my shiny metal!
Stop! You can't say the next word!
Fry manages to stop him just in time, but then Bender turns the tables. He threatens to say the word himself unless the Spherons surrender. Terrified, the ball creatures give up. But then comes the tragic twist. Spheron 1 is actually their home planet. The defeated Spherons bounce away into space, homeless and broken. In Futurama's world, military service always seems to mean cheap motives, bad orders, and disasters only barely avoided. Leaving gum and drills behind, the next episode shows how a spilled beer leads to alien ships and an all-out war. When aliens attack. Season 1, Episode 12. Futurama's first real war story begins in the dumbest way possible, with Fry spilling beer. Back in 1999, Fry delivered pizza to a TV station and knocked beer all over the broadcast console. The timing couldn't be worse. It happens right in the middle of single female lawyer cutting the broadcast short. Fry shrugs and mutters, like anyone on Earth cares. But someone does care. Omicron Persei 8. 1,000 years later, the aliens finally see the signal, only to have their favorite show cut off at the most dramatic moment. Furious, their leader Lur orders a full-scale invasion of Earth. Flash forward to the year 3000, the Planet Express crew is enjoying Labor Day at Monument Beach, where Earth's greatest monuments have all been gathered. The holiday fun ends when the skies darken with Omicronian warships. They start blasting everything, including Mount Rushmore, the White House, all other buildings, flattened like bowling pins. The crowd screams in panic as Lur appears on the broadcast.
We demand McNeil!
Earth's president at the time is President McNeil, and he assumes the aliens mean him. He's terrified, even asking, "Who is McNeil?"
McNeil, whoever he is. Am I right?
That brings in Earth's most incompetent commander, 25-star General Zap Brannigan. Zap is in full show-off mode. He gathers thousands of ships, dragging the Planet Express crew into service, and even flips on the patriotism circuits of every robot on Earth, forcing Bender into battle against his will. Fry's thrilled, bragging he's just like Captain Janeway, Uhura, and even Xena. Before the mission, Zap delivers a ridiculous speech. He says,
"The key to victory is discipline, and that means a well-made bed.
He talks about unity.
But I don't care if your skin's red or tan or Chinese. You're all going to have to learn to die together."
Then he unveils his brilliant plan. Send every ship in a straight line into the Omicronian cannon. In other words, a suicide mission. And right before the battle, he still finds time to hit on Leela.
Like to make love to me, in case one of us doesn't come back.
The battle is pure parody, mixing Star Wars and Independence Day. Ships fly in formation, inspirational speeches fly around, and then everything collapses instantly. Earth's Grand Fleet destroys the Hubble Space Telescope instead of the enemy, and then gets annihilated in seconds.
What the hell is that thing?
It appears to be the mothership.
Then what did we just blow up?
The Hubble telescope.
Zap's strategy is a total disaster, and Earth's defense falls apart. In desperation, Zap decides to give Lur what he asked for, McNeil. He kidnaps Earth's president and hands him over as a hostage. But Lur isn't impressed. He vaporizes McNeil instantly. Wrong McNeil. What the aliens really want is Jenny McNeil, the main character from Single Female Lawyer, the very sitcom Fry ruined 1,000 years earlier. With no recordings left, the last tapes were destroyed in the Second Coming of Jesus centuries ago. The Planet Express crew has no choice but to stage a live version of the show. Leela plays Jenny, Farnsworth plays the judge, and Fry takes charge of the script. The problem? Fry's script is barely 1 page long, because he assumed if it took an hour to write, it would take an hour to perform. Leela stumbles through the lines, trying to improvise by proposing marriage to the judge. Fry snaps, saying,
"Clever things make people feel stupid, and unexpected things make them feel scared."
To everyone's shock, Lur agrees, saying,
Attention, McNeil. Your unexpected marriage plan scares us.
To keep the aliens happy, Fry writes a bland ending where Farnsworth's character dies and Jenny McNeil is single again. The Omicronians give the episode a C+. Not great, but just good enough to spare Earth. Humanity won't be destroyed, but they also won't get the aliens' secret of immortality. Sometimes, the survival of Earth depends on whether your sitcom finale is predictable enough for alien invaders. After Earth barely survives Omicronian wrath, the next battle comes from within, sparked by Zoidberg's wild celebration of Freedom Day. A Taste of Freedom, Season 4, Episode 5. The episode kicks off on Freedom Day, Earth's holiday where the only rule is that there are no rules. People party, drink, and run wild in the streets. Most see it as just a silly excuse for chaos, but Zoidberg takes it very seriously. On his home planet, Decapod 10, freedom barely exists, so he treats the holiday as something sacred. At the big celebration in Washington, D.C., President Nixon's head unveils the Earth flag. The crowd cheers, the anthem plays, and Zoidberg strolls forward and eats the flag. Not politely, but in one huge gulp, proud of what he thought was the perfect act of freedom.
And I did it with pride, for to express oneself by doing a thing is the very essence of Freedom Day.
Instead of cheering, the crowd explodes in anger. On live TV, it looks like open treason. Within seconds, Zoidberg is running for his life as the mob screams for his head. Zoidberg hides in the Decapodian embassy, but safety doesn't last. Leela argues,
You may not like it that Dr. Zoidberg desecrated a flag, but the right to freedom of expression is guaranteed by the Earth Constitution.
the case becomes Earth versus Zoidberg, with headlines screaming, "Lobster Trial," and angry crowds demanding punishment. Posters fill the streets, dummies of Zoidberg are hung, and the court finally sentences him to death. Soon after, Zap Brannigan arrives with troops. He wants Zoidberg alive only long enough for Earth to execute him. Soldiers surround the embassy, but the ambassador warns invading will mean war.
Well, what are you gonna do about it, Shrimpy?
You wanna see, Mr. Big Shot? Attack Earth!
Huge lobster-like ships appear in the sky, covering the planet in minutes. They blast through Earth's spaceships as if they were snacks. People run through the streets screaming as the sky fills with Decapodian warships. To prove their power, the aliens even cut apart the Clinton monument. Zoidberg, instead of being scared, is happy. He says Earth is finally learning what happens when you deny true freedom.
Well, we'll do to you what we did to the squash men of the squash planet.
The invasion crushes Earth's defenses right away. Tanks, planes, and even Zap Brannigan's so-called brilliant leadership do nothing to stop them. He proudly says he will show the Decapodians what a giant runaway military budget can do.
Let's show these freaks what a bloated runaway military budget can do.
Among the soldiers, a Decapodian disguised as a human sneaks in. Zap, too clueless to notice, thinks he's part of the team. He even gives the secret activation code CD to the disguised alien and tells him to hurry down to the central battle computer and enter the codes. Soon after, a Decapodian ship moves in close, ready to destroy Zap's own vessel. Zap orders a missile launch. Kif tries to follow the order, but nothing works.
Sir, all planetary defenses have been disabled. Perhaps the Decapodians acquired our secret codes somehow.
In no time, the Decapodian warship slices Zap's ship in half. The pieces crash down, and Earth officially falls. Headlines quickly spread across the planet, saying that handsome invaders have defeated Earth. Humanity is enslaved, along with the Planet Express crew, and even the military's top commander, Zap Brannigan. Leela, furious at what's happened, turns to Zoidberg and asks,
How can you claim to love freedom and then enslave all of Earth?
Zoidberg coldly replies that
Your planet doesn't deserve freedom until it learns what it is to not have freedom.
Next, the Decapodians bring out their ultimate weapon, the Mobile Oppression Palace. Yes, that's actually its name. It's a giant walking fortress that marches through the streets, enslaving humans and spreading fear. The Decapodian ambassador dismisses the warships, trusting this machine to control the planet. The palace begins smashing buildings one after another. Things get worse when Old Man Waterfall bravely stands in its path.
You can crush me, but you can't crush my spirit!
The palace crushes him instantly. Zoidberg is devastated. He had grown to respect Waterfall because he defended him when no one else would. For the first time, Zoidberg sees that all this oppression goes against the true lesson of freedom. But when he speaks up, the Decapodian ambassador ignores him completely. Not everyone on Earth is ready to surrender. Fry, Leela, Bender, Zap, and Kif decide to fight back. They sneak into a museum and steal a heat-seeking missile. Together, they fire it at the Mobile Oppression Palace, hoping to end the invasion. But there's a problem. The missile can't lock onto its target, and the giant machine keeps stomping through the city. Then Zoidberg comes up with a plan. He grabs another Earth flag and sets it on fire. The crowd gasps, horrified that he would dare insult the flag again.
Yes, I'm desecrating a flag, but to preserve the freedom it represents.
To prove it, he throws the burning flag onto the Mobile Oppression Palace. The missile detects the heat, locks on, and blasts the palace into pieces. The Decapodian army is defeated and forced to retreat, leaving Earth free once more. The same Zoidberg who had once been called a traitor is now celebrated as the planet's savior. Our next stop shows how the crew's time travel accident leads to the Roswell incident and plenty of military confusion. Roswell That Ends Well, Season 3, Episode 19. The episode begins with the crew watching a bright supernova. It's meant to be a safe science trip, but Fry decides to microwave popcorn in a metal pan. Sparks fly, the radiation mixes with the supernova, and the Planet Express ship is suddenly dragged back in time to 1947. Everyone wearing seatbelts survives, but Bender is flung through the windshield and smashed into pieces. The ship crash lands in Roswell, New Mexico, right in the middle of America's most paranoid decade. The crew quickly realizes their only way back to the future is by using a microwave. The problem is simple. In 1947, microwaves didn't exist yet. While Zoidberg is out collecting pieces of Bender, the US military finds the wreckage. They mistake Zoidberg for an alien from the crash and drag him to Roswell Air Base for experiments. They also find Bender's broken parts and assume this is debris from the alien spaceship. The next morning, soldiers head back to the desert, where they find even more of Bender's pieces. When they discover his hand, newspapers print shocking headlines claiming a flying saucer has been captured.
That's no flying saucer! That's my ass!
At the base, Zoidberg is locked in a cage as the generals try to question him about why he came to Earth. Zoidberg stays calm, acting like nothing's wrong. His careless behavior convinces the officers to push the experiments further. They place him in a room with a giant table full of food and watch from behind the glass to see what an alien might eat. At first, Zoidberg thinks he has to pay for the food, but when he learns it's free, he attacks the table with joy. He shouts, slurps, and eats in the most disgusting way possible, leaving the soldiers horrified. They're sure that this cannot be normal behavior, and they rush to report their findings to the president. Meanwhile, Leela and Farnsworth search for a way home. Leela discovers that the army base has a microwave radar dish, which could help them return to the future.
It is our sacred duty to preserve the past exactly as it was.
Soon, President Harry Truman arrives at Roswell Air Base. The generals proudly show him how they have reassembled the alien spaceship from Bender's broken parts. Truman then visits Zoidberg directly. They tie him up, and Truman demands answers, saying Zoidberg must surrender or be destroyed.
If you come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. If you're here to make war, we surrender.
They interrogate him further, asking if his mission is to create some sort of alien-human hybrid. Zoidberg responds in his usual strange way.
Are you coming on to me?
Truman, furious, orders a full autopsy. To Zoidberg, this is great news. He's actually excited to be studied. The doctors literally start pulling out his organs, and he cheers them on as if it's fun. At that moment, Fry and Leela burst into the base. They fight through the chaos and free Zoidberg from the operating table. At the same time, Farnsworth grabs Bender's body parts and secures the radar dish. With everything they need in hand, the crew escapes from the base before the soldiers can stop them. From gum enlistments to sitcom wars, flag feasts to Roswell crashes, Futurama proves that the military is never safe in their hands. Whether it's Zap's hopeless strategies, Earth's armies falling apart, or aliens demanding TV finales, every battle spirals into chaos and parody. Think one military disaster tops them all? Drop it in the comments, hit like if you enjoyed watching the chaos, and subscribe for more dives into animation's funniest battles.